And we're back. I'm your host, BKP, and we're at Circuit World here in Blue Ridge. A little cold this morning, but we have the all-star panel. I think we're all back together. Jane, welcome back.
Thank you.
You went into wardrobe before you came on the show, and I recognize this red. So, okay.
We share everything. Bill and I share.
Been warmed up by other people.
Okay.
Good vibes. I'll talk too much now.
I know you're sitting right here next to Bruce and I. Let me know if anything inappropriate happens. Okay, all right. If anything.
Yeah.
What happens in Circuit World
stays with
stays in Circuit
He's
World.
recorded by someone.
If you feel that anything inappropriate,
We'll just wipe the tapes with bleach bit. Don't
bleach
worry.
bit.
Or whatever you call it.
No, that's right. You're right. No, that's
we'll
what they
wipe
did.
it if it's on tape.
There you go.
We deny everything.
It's not illegal.
If you're new here, we're glad to have you. But we have Bruce, Jane, and Rick, and
BKP.
Yeah, I was going to say, who are you?
yeah, it's obvious. So during the break, this is a new one. This is a new one. I want to share this with the audience. During the break, we're setting up, and it takes a lot. We have a major operation here, but we're setting up.
It's a different couch, by the way.
And for the first time, all of them are telling me what we can't talk about. I mean, they're telling me, let's not talk about this. Let's not.
It's a new year. Come on.
They're like, we're not talking.
Yeah.
Okay, wait a minute.
The inmates are running the asylum.
Here's what I know, and I respect what they said. Is I agree. The media is sensationalizing the cage match between Steve Bannon and Donald Trump. Okay, that's sensationalizing. We know that. We're used to that. We would like to see a little more discussion on the deep state, and we'd like to see a little more discussion on Sessions. Well, the Department of Justice obviously sounds like they're opening a new investigation on the Clintons' pay-to-play, right?
Well, all they're doing is continuing the investigation.
Yeah.
Right.
They're
Right.
expanding the field office.
And they're announcing it's official now.
Yeah,
Right.
they're expanding the field office.
Crucial timing.
And that's what they want to talk about because there's not enough airtime. I will say this, and we won't spend the time because we're going to talk a lot more football later. We're going to have a little extended version of our football segment because of the national championship. But I will say this, okay? I for one, try not to be critical of the president, but I always like to say, you know what? Truth is, Mitch McConnell and Donald Trump got in the way in Alabama with Luther Strange, and if Donald Trump would not have helped Mitch McConnell get in the way with Luther Strange, the establishment, Mo Brooks would be the senator of Alabama today. Agree?
Yep, agreed, totally.
All right, and agree? All right. That being said, when Bannon jumped in to try to pull, there was not really anybody that was trying to pull Roy Moore and Trigger across the finish line. The horse. I always said his horse. Okay.
It's an interesting metaphor.
Huh?
Trigger.
Oh, you could do that. I was trying to the other day. Right? Yeah, Trigger. Right. But nobody.
That was pretty good, actually.
Nobody was actually trying to pull Roy Moore across the finish line with the attack that was on him, but Steve Bannon. You know what I'm saying?
There's something funny that you're missing. You probably didn't miss it. You just haven't.
You do know you
so
let
good.
you said I missed it. Oh my God, Bruce!
Did you notice that Trump has established a name now for Steve? It's Sloppy Steve.
Yeah.
Oh,
Everybody
really?
gets-
I
yeah,
haven't heard
Sloppy
that
Steve.
yet.
Okay.
Little Marco. Now it's.
All right,
Sloppy
we're going to
Steve.
move on. I'm going to give you the first subject that you want to talk about, but what I want to say is, don't you find it's interesting that now that's how you sell a book? Remember Donna Brazil, and I was talking to Rick about this the other day. Doesn't it seem like just a week before one of their great books come out, there's excerpts of the book that's released and floated out there, and the media gets all hyped up, and then all of a sudden the book does pretty well. Is that what we've come to? I mean, to me, this is nothing more than a book tour.
Where's Donna Brazil now?
Right.
That's what I'm saying. This stuff lasts a matter of days.
Yeah.
Well, obviously,
And then
Wall
they're
Street
gone.
Wall Street could care less yesterday.
Oh yeah, right.
First subject. What do you got?
I've got some information everyone needs to know.
Oh, sit back.
Oh boy, here we go.
Okay, Bruce, you ready?
It's a big one. It's a big
Wait,
one.
I'm gonna.
No, you know what? You know what?
Sit
I
up in.
have to tell you. I'm going to say this. Here's what we have to do. Now, we're going to go with this. She just started a new segment called I Have Some Information Everybody Needs to Know. That's a new segment. Then we have to have our information everybody needs to know hats.
Are they making fun of me?
No.
Or is it a good
No,
idea?
we're having fun. Go ahead.
I know. Well, here's the thing. I've been reading about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. So, it's just a mess. I would never invest in it. I have a son-in-law who's high up in banks, and he said he's leery of it. But here's where people can get get taken by that. I would never invest in it ever because it drops, it goes, no one knows where they come from, no one knows where it started, no one knows where it goes. Countries are quitting using it, they're banning it. Well, if your 401k or your Vanguard account has companies that are investing in Bitcoin, because everyone, there's the thing about they want our economy to crash, blah, blah, blah. But nevertheless, Bitcoin could go away tomorrow. So I'm calling all of my broker and saying I need to know if any of these companies invest in Bitcoin. Because if Bitcoin goes down, we go down indirectly if your companies that you're investing in buy Bitcoin or the cryptocurrency.
Are there major companies that are doing that, though?
Yeah.
Yeah,
big time.
Look at Peter Thiel.
Peter Thiel's fine, but Merrill Lynch, I think, Merrill Lynch has come out and said,
Morgan Stanley
stay with
did, too.
Well, we're talking about like a company I invest in.
All right, well, let me back up a
Walmart
minute because you hit a
know.
home run. You hit a home run. You did. I'm not making fun. You hit a home run. Thank you for bringing that subject up. I said the other day, and I'm just humble myself, and I've been reading Bitcoin. I've been reading articles, but
Riddle.
Would you agree that this year we better educate ourselves on cryptocurrency?
We better.
Cryptocurrency. Would you agree,
And
Bruce?
AI's
No.
going to just...
No, you don't agree.
No, just stay away from them.
Oh,
Just stay away from them?
Well, you definitely stay away, but I'm
Okay.
calling Vanguard, my little guy, whatever his name is, and I want to know all the companies that are investing. I'll Google. I'm going to do due diligence.
Stay away. Stay away is, I understand what you said, stay away from them, but I think we need to learn about them because...
I'll tell you everything I know.
Call me
Oh,
later.
man.
Call me later.
I like to make
Your little guy at Vanguard.
a counseling appointment. I read something where
I'm glad you brought the subject up.
20% of the Bitcoin allotment out there currently is in South Korea. Have you read that?
I don't know that. Listen, it's
I
all
don't know why
very...
I threw that out there. It just seems strange.
Well, because if the balloon goes up from North Korea, 20% of it's just going to evaporate.
Right. Well, I mean, it's become popular in countries where the currency is just running rampant,
So,
like Venezuela and Argentina
Zimbabwe.
and Zimbabwe.
the information I've been listening to is that if I wanted to buy one Bitcoin, it's what, $20,000? I don't know what it is now. I don't even care. 17.2? Okay. It's not. So if I sent somebody $17,200.
Wow.
Boops. And then Bitcoin, who
Lonnie,
do I get it back from? Where
Get
does
those
that
3
money go?
Bitcoins out of my bag.
That's right.
Where is that money?
Yeah,
We
wheel
don't,
them over.
know who started Bitcoin. We don't know anything. The experts know nothing. Where is my 17.2?
I will tell you-
in someone's bank account that he's putting fuel in his yacht?
You remember we
where
had
is
this
it?
conversation the other day with someone that's pretty
Yes.
knowledgeable, and his contention is that this is the way that
It's
we're
going.
going.
I think what I was saying, and you said no, Bruce, but I
without
think really
me.
what I was saying is not invest in Bitcoin or cryptocurrency. That's up
Right.
to you personally.
Learn about it.
But I do think this year you better pay attention to it because I do think if the Treasury starts to sell their T-bills,
Yes.
and we don't have anybody to buy them, and we tend to forget that the Treasury kept buying up our debt, and then we tend to forget, not you and I or the group, that the Federal Reserve is not the government. They're people we owe money to, right? So if that really comes to a shocking conclusion, there could be an issue. So I think cryptocurrency is something that we need to pay attention to this year. I really do.
I think you're better off talking cryptocurrency versus Bitcoin,
Yeah.
because
Right.
Bitcoin is just one of
Right.
many
Right.
cryptocurrencies. There's
But I
Riddle,
will-
there's Ethereum, there's a whole bunch of people don't even talk about.
He knows.
Well, instead of coming out and saying that I know,
It's really three major, right?
There's a
know.
bunch of
Ethereum.
there's a bunch of
I think
wannabes
we
out
should
there that
start one. Mine are 50,000 a Whaley coin.
Whaley coin. There you
Let's
go,
do
right
FYN.
here.
Send
Let's
it
do
on
FYN
in.
coins.
Yeah, FYN. It's good.
Okay.
It's simple. FYN coin.
We're starting it.
Okay, today, right here.
Yeah,
is that
yeah.
pronounced Finn?
You can call now and put in.
Yeah, Fin
Put
coin.
in
That's
your
great.
order.
Coin.
Fin coin. This is our Fin coin.
Yeah, you put
I'll be
in
the
your,
banker.
You can get large fin coins.
No, I've
or you can
played,
get thin fin coins.
I've played Monopoly with you. You can't be the banker. You're the one who goes over and slides that extra 100. So you want to buy a hotel. Anyhow, let's move this along. But I will say this. There is a...
I hope they don't crash the server calling in to buy those Bitcoins.
Oh, exactly.
Thin
Minimal
coins.
75,000.
That's
All right.
right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so there is a and I forget the name on Netflix. There is a hour and 45-minute show on Netflix that is really good that explains Bitcoin. It's really good. Okay, your subject.
Well, you sort of touched on it. I mean, the economy, it's hitting all kinds of new records. I mean, and the press isn't talking about it, and the mass media is not talking about it. I mean, almost in passing. And I think, the job numbers coming out, or it's out now, and they think that this is really kind of just, clearing the decks for like a really big increase in employment and GDP growth. I think that's for everyone with their 401ks, whether they go into cryptocurrencies or not. I think that's a great thing for 2018 and beyond.
Well, I think you're right with the economy. So your subject was cryptocurrency. Yours was the economy. What is yours?
Fund the government time to DACA.
What'd you say?
Funding the government tied to DACA/wall. Take off, I mean.
Well, I mean,
About time.
Trump is saying keep the two separate, and he's saying if we do something with DACA, there will be a wall. He's not going to change on that. I don't believe.
He has been too adamant with that. And let me explain to you out there my position briefly. And I go back to Ronald Reagan, President Reagan, and the immigration amnesty bill was in '86. That was done in '86, I think, with Tip O'Neill. All right, now I'm painting a picture. Tip O'Neill and Ronald Reagan are in the office, and the Irishman and the guy from California, the actor, they're having a scotch, okay? And they used to tell each other pretty good jokes, and they came up with a deal. That's just the way I always looked at Tip O'Neill and Ronald Reagan, all right? So they come up with a deal on immigration.
Mm-hmm.
And we lost on the border security. The deal was a one-time amnesty, okay? And I know this for a fact because our family has a large construction company, and at that time we had a lot of guys that worked for us that had come across the border. Okay, so this is back in '86. So I personally went to Philadelphia to immigration and took number 122 and now serving 3. Sit there all day. But I sit there with 7 or 8 guys at that time that they became legal through the process. That being said, but we lost on the border security.
Right.
Now, border security was in that, and we lost. That never happened in that bill. So that's why Republicans today are adamant
Therefore,
you see what I'm saying? We have to have the border secure before we make any agreement.
that's right.
I agree.
So you're saying border security is part of the '86 or whatever bill?
Yes, and we didn't. It never
So
happened.
consequently,
What do you mean it never
It
happened?
just didn't happen. It didn't happen.
it wasn't enforced?
It wasn't funded?
Right.
It wasn't
funded. Wasn't
You
enforced.
mean they passed it, they agreed
Oh, yeah,
to
it's
it,
in
and
the-
then
Agreed to
kaput?
it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But that is the reason I bring that up. That is why when you hear Republicans, and you may think, I know you don't, but you may think out there, why are Republicans so adamant that border security first and foremost? Because of the '86 immigration bill that we were lied to.
We've been there, done that.
And if you'll listen to Democrats now, they're saying we want to bolster, border security. We want to bolster.
I haven't heard any Democrats say that.
No, they don't say wall. They'll say stuff like we need to bolster, security and everything. We support that. But it's the back end. Let's do this first. And Republicans say, no, not again.
Well, yeah, but
We don't
isn't
need
the
So
to
it's
build a wall.
always
We
the
can do
back end. It's always the
cybersecurity.
back
Right.
end.
Let's-
Always
We
the
can
back
do
end.
drones.
Right.
We can do
isn't
electronic
the
surveillance.
bolster border security kind of just right before or right after comprehensive immigration reform for Democrats? They always throw that out.
It's
I
always
would
I
say
mean, and then
two
you get
things.
you get into that knitting ball. I mean,
Yeah.
You know, with the comprehensive, that's talk speak for. It ain't gonna
Yeah,
happen.
that's what it
That's all
is.
that is.
All right,
That's
well,
what
yeah.
it
Well,
is.
I mean, it's DACA. It's Dreamers.
Let everyone
it's-
in, and then we're going to build a wall.
Yeah, maybe.
Well,
That's
I will tell you
cart
what you're
before the
saying.
horse.
I will tell you, Trump is adamant, and he's not wavered on wall funding for the wall and chain migration, which
Yeah.
Senator David
Yeah.
Perdue and Senator Tom Cotton have
Excuse me.
the RAISE Act to stop chain migration. Those are two things he's strong on. Now, are you smelling in the water if they will give him those two things? He will cut a deal on
I
DACA?
think so.
You think so?
Yeah, I do. I do, and I have,
Well, how
I
you
hate to
feel
say it,
about that?
I don't like it because I think he's going against his base. Maybe the one time that he compromises, and maybe I don't know. Maybe we need.
Well,
to
I think it's a political issue for him. I mean, it's emotional. It's sensitive. You have all these kids through no fault of their own. They're here.
Yeah, well, wait
I
a
mean,
minute,
but
wait,
I mean
no,
that
no.
doesn't really mean anything. For at the end of the day, I mean, just because they're here illegally and were born here, what gives them any special rights above and beyond any other citizen?
Well, what do you
Because they're not
think
even
with DACA?
citizens.
I think it's really complicated, but I'm kind of with Bruce. I have friends who are undocumented. Their children were born here, they're citizens. But our country is becoming infiltrated with, really, when you say non-American, but with people who don't hold our beliefs, who don't
Right.
hold our Judeo-Christian, I said it out loud, Judeo-Christian beliefs. We don't cut people's heads off. And I think it's just part of the big plan, because you know me and plans. But that's how they diffuse us. They don't have to drop a bomb on us. They just have to get people in office and in the Congress and maybe last president into the White House, and they own us because they
All right. Well,
outvote
let's
us.
put it like this, okay? And I don't know recently what's going on now, but I do know all the higher institutions of learning are conforming to. Obviously, they support DACA, these liberal schools. But I don't know personally, but there's a lot of people out there your age that remember the discussion with your children. They're juniors. Jim comes in, he's a junior, he sits down, okay, son, where are you going to college? Okay, you sophomore, where are you going to college? Let's start this. Well, we're going to apply here, we're going to apply here. Well, I like this, but, we need to look a little closer at in-state tuition. I know you want to go to Notre Dame. I know you want to go to Notre Dame. Right? All right. But you understand where I'm going with that? And you had these discussions. You were working, you're paying your bills, going to work, raising your family, and it was time. Those are the kitchen table discussions that out there that Americans know about. And you discussed in-state tuition versus going out of state. What are you right? Am I on track? And now it's like we're doing something wrong, like because they want in-state tuition. Well, wait a minute. They're not even in-country tuition.
That's right.
But you see,
Right.
I mean, this is really cloudy.
But the politicians cut them like, a special category, and they have for decades. I lived in California in the mid-'70s, and the big thing there was there was a lot of Asians coming in, Filipinos and whatnot. And the deal was they'd come in and they would bring grandma and grandpa, and they would immediately get on Social Security, disability, or Social Security. Immediately. I mean, it just happened. So, I mean, this has been going on for decades, and I think politicians just keep greasing that pump.
You know what I don't understand? We have a friend who is British but lives in Switzerland. For him to be able to live in Switzerland, he had to invest almost $1 million in a business that would employ Swiss before they would say, yes, you can live here half the year. In Mexico, where we have a place, if I went and got a job as a server in a restaurant, I'm American, they found out they would put me in a Mexican jail. Now, I'm telling you, other countries take care of their borders, many of them, all of them, but they expect, because we're the target. Do you understand? It's all, we're the target, and that's how they're going to infiltrate, and we're just going to end up oozing out of the borders. We're just, you know, it's that one world globalist thing, and there are a lot of people in on it that there's just a lot of people.
Well, I agree, but when we're talking about, let me ask you this question. America as a whole, regardless political views, are we not kindly age of accountability people? Are we not? Is that not kindly how we live? At the kids
You
are,
have to be accountable
there's
for
an
your
age,
actions.
but there's an age of
Oh,
accountability.
yeah. 12.
12?
That's when you get
okay.
bar
Now I know what I know. You know where I'm going.
I think 18's really.
I know you know where I'm going with this, and I can see over there. Tell me where I'm wrong. I'm not saying we do that. I'm not telling you I want to do DACA, but if you were really 3 years old and you were, you know, somebody held your hand and loaded you up on that train at 3, and it was mama and papa, and you got out and you didn't know what town you were in, and this is all you know, and it's before what we call age of account. What do we do? I'm just saying. I'm just putting it out there.
I think Americans are generally very big-hearted people.
They are.
And, I mean, the numbers show it. I mean, in terms of charity that we pay out of our pocket, I mean, we are the world leader. I think politicians, though, take advantage of that. They know, here you have this little shivering kid, or, you know,
Right.
the kid that has done very well in grade school or high school, and again, they're here illegally, or their parents came illegally and they're here. Well, what are you going to do? Turn them out? You know, kick them across the border? No, you know, it's a compassionate thing. But I think the politicians, again, work that because they see votes. They see these people's coming in, and they will be a block that is
Democrats have been doing
indebted
that.
to them,
yeah.
indebted to them, and will vote for them to keep going down this compassion road. So accountability, I think we're getting so far away from accountability in this country, it's sad.
Have any of you seen Denise D'Souza's Hillary's America?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, that was profound. And we took our grandchildren, our New Yorkers, one's conservative, he's 17, his daughter and younger sister are totally Hillaryites. So we went, and I watched the oldest, who's very, very liberal, watch how the Democrats were the slaveholder, da-da-da-da-da-da, and she just sat there stone-faced, but she saw it. And at the end, when they played the anthem, I mean, I broke into tears. I mean, it was so overwhelming, I cried for a little while. I couldn't help it. And when we all stood up, my grandson stood up, and I tell you, that was a fine day. But the other two sat there huffing and puffing. But they're
Huffing and
bright,
puffing.
and they saw it.
What were they puffing?
Okay. Don't give me a football prediction because you're going to stick around. So if you're sticking around for our next segment, which will be football, you're welcome to. But if you're not, I want your football prediction. But all right, DACA putting the budget together. That was your topic of the day.
Yep.
But what is your final comment or final subject of the day that you'd like to?
I'm delighted that finally the Hillary thing is coming to light. The pay for play, if you will, the Clinton Foundation. It's about time. Jim Jordan said this morning.
Mark
Fox
Meadows,
and
yeah,
Friends,
and Mark Meadows has also said that. It's time for Session to
time
do it or
for
go.
Sessions to go. Either do something or get off the dime. I'm glad that's finally coming to light, and I think they're going to leave Hillary alone on the emails, but they're going to go after Uma.
So you think there'll be
They're
you think there'll be a fall gal?
Yeah.
Yeah, but Hillary's going to get it on the play for pay thing.
Yes.
They're not letting. You know.
Yeah.
Bruce?
My factoid of the day. Is that
Yes,
what you want?
yes.
What are
Closing
we
comment?
doing now?
Okay.
I lost track.
It's the orange folder. It's kind of clashing with the red.
Oh.
13th Amendment, abolish slavery. 100% Republican support, 23% Democrat. 14th Amendment gave citizenship to freed slaves. 94% Republican support, 0 Democrat.
Say that louder.
15th Amendment, right to vote for all men. 100% Republican support, 0 Democrat support.
Got
Send
it.
that to
They
your,
don't
send that to your
do
grandkids.
Got it.
squat.
Do squat.
There you go.
So, what are you trying to say?
Democrats cannot be trusted.
Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes.
Democrats can't be trusted. And
many Republicans,
and
i.e. rhinos. What's the question?
Accountability.
No, the
accountability.
question is
We're getting
what-
away from accountability.
Yeah.
Are you sticking around for our football discussion?
No.
Or you have a prediction? It's not soccer. I know in other countries, I know Bruce, I stay where he can't hit me.
Greco-Roman wrestling?
Yes.
No, I hope Georgia will win by a field goal.
Field goal. Ooh, he likes it. Okay, all right. Are you sticking around to talk football or are you out?
No, I'm hungry. I'm going to go. for
I
breakfast.
laugh. Okay. All right. So you get to give your prediction
yeah.
and your final thought of the day.
My rule is never bet against Alabama. I just think they're so powerful. But Georgia, that was a heck of a game with Clemson. I mean, a heck of a
you
game.
mean
Oklahoma.
I mean Oklahoma.
It was with
I
Clemson,
got it.
too, for Alabama.
No, it was a heck of a game with Clemson. I mean, at first I thought, I'll tell you, I don't know who's going to win, and I want Georgia to win, but it's hard to bet against those Alabama guys. They're tough. I mean, they just get it in their mind. I mean, they were 4, now they've beaten number 1, and I'm telling you, they got something. So I'm rooting for Georgia, but if I had to put $5, I'd probably put it on Alabama.
Oh, boy.
Really?
I probably would. I don't want them to win.
$5 on Alabama. Well, folks, this is what I think of the Steve Bannon Donald Trump feud.
Sloppy Steve.
I could care less. I would rather
Me too.
rather them break to somebody singing that can't sing. You know, somebody like myself. You know, I think there's more fun in that. So I think we should sing a song. Make it happy to last your whole life long. Don't worry if it's not good enough for anyone else to hear. Just sing a song. Now you got to do the
Y'all in
la
different
la
keys.
la 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 la.
Oh, I can't even
All
sing
right,
with
we're
you.
out of here.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to talk football. That's what I care. I could care less about
It's Friday.
the 50 Shades of the White House. Take it, all right? We had a lot of fun, all-star panel. Glad to have you
Go
back.
Georgia.
Go Georgia. We're getting ready to have a good 20-minute, 25-minute discussion on football. Stay with us. What is your prediction when we come back? Take us a break, Lonnie.